Welcome to the Professor Lending Institute, where we make sense of housing economics and the home buying process. I'm Jordan Steffaniak, president of Professor Lending, licensed loan originator, and your home lending professor. And today I'm going to explain the differences between a personal loan, a HELOC, credit cards, and a cash out refinance. If you need equity out of your house or just liquidity in general, what is the best option for you and your family? So this is an important question to ask. Let's say you have a $50,000 need. Maybe you need to remodel your kitchen. Maybe you need to remediate the mold in your basement. Maybe you need to send a kid to college. Maybe you need to pay off something. Whatever it is, let's just say for an example that you need $50,000. What's the best way to get access to that $50,000? You'd be able to utilize that with the lowest amount of interest and lowest monthly payment. So a couple of questions you need to ask yourself is, number one, what are your main goals? Is it the lowest possible payment, or is it the lowest amount of total interest you're going to pay over a period of time? You have to think about these things because different things are going to ultimately lead you to different conclusions here on what's the most beneficial option for you. So let's take a personal loan, for example, at $50,000. If you take out a personal loan, general personal loan rates, 13, 14, 15, 16, up to 20%, somewhere in that range. Let's just pick 15%. If you do that, you typically a personal loan range is going to be what, 3 to 5 years? Let's say 5 years, conservative. That monthly payment is going to be almost $1,200. Now, let's compare that to something like a home equity line of credit or a HELOC, a home equity loan. You can get up to a 30-year home equity loan on your house. And let's say generously, they're usually somewhere between 8 and 11% right now, but let's just say 10%. Your monthly payment on a 30-year HELOC is going to be $438. So that's $1,200 versus $400. I mean, that's about $800 a month in savings that you're going to have by opting for the HELOC over the personal loan. And a HELOC is just as easy as a personal loan to get taken care of. So different lenders have different structures on this. Some lenders, some traditional banks and everything still require an appraisal, but most lenders like us at Professor Lending don't require an appraisal at all. So it's based on the value of your house, and it's very simple, very straightforward, very easy. You can get it taken care of and fill out the full application in 20 minutes and then have the money typically in 3 to 5 days. So it's basically just as easy as a personal loan, yet you have the option to go all the way up to 30 years and you have lower interest rates. Now, the real question that you then have to answer is, what if you already have a mortgage on your house? Is it more valuable actually to do a cash out refinance? So you can do a cash out refinance in your home based on how much equity you have in your house. But if you're already doing a HELOC, you probably have enough equity in the house to do a cash out. But it's always good to talk to a licensed loan originator and ask these questions. Like, here's my scenario. What do I do in this situation? What's best for me? But we're just talking about basic examples here. So again, $50,000. Let's say you had a $300,000 mortgage and you're going to need $50,000. So you then take out a $350,000 mortgage on it. Now let's just say you had a 6% mortgage and you're going to refinance it into another 6% mortgage. So there's no difference in the interest rate. At that level, your monthly payment is actually going to go up about $300. So it's actually almost $150 cheaper than the HELOC. And you're actually going to save around $10,000 in interest over the first 5 years of that loan compared to the personal loan and compared to the HELOC. So all things considered equal, if you are refinancing into the same rate, there's going to be significant savings to actually doing a cash out refinance. That is actually the best option for you if you need cash and if you need liquidity. However, there's always all sorts of different questions you have to ask. Maybe you're locked into a 3% mortgage rate. So refinancing at current mortgage interest rates would actually balloon that payment significantly. Or maybe you have different other reasons to not want to do it. Or maybe you actually have a 7%, and if you cash out refi, you actually go down. Remember, the traditional mortgage on the house is going to have the lowest possible rate that you can really get for any lending opportunity. So the cash out refinance is probably going to be the best solution unless you're one of the lucky few that has that 2 to 3% mortgage rate locked in on your house currently. Now, I know there's a lot of you that have that, and there are a lot of needs that have come up since you purchased the house or you refinanced the house back when rates were low. And you do need that equity. In that case, a home equity line of credit or a home equity loan are very, very good options for you. So these are things that you need to think about. You don't want to put money on a credit card. You may be enticed. It's got a 0% interest rate for 12 months or whatever it is. But if you put a significant chunk of money on that, I mean, those interest rates are 25, 30% on there. You'll never get out of paying those interest payments. Those are like, it's like a chokehold, and you'll never really be able to get out because you're constantly paying $500, $1,000, whatever it is, in interest charges. So it's much better to be able to get a home equity line of credit or a home equity loan, have a 30-year fixed on that or a 15-year fixed, whatever you can afford for your budget, whatever makes sense for you, that allows you to have a much lower payment as well as paying far less interest. So in my mind, the tiering and the stacking goes cash out refinance for equity, then home equity loan or home equity line of credit, and then the personal loan, and then the credit cards at the very, very bottom. Credit cards are not a good solution for you. I'm not a Dave Ramsey guy, but in that sense, credit cards are a death trap. But above that, personal loans make sense in certain scenarios. But the HELOC, I'm telling you, the HE loan is a very good solution. Now, there is a distinction between these two things, the home equity loan and then the home equity line of credit, where the main distinction is the home equity line of credit is typically going to allow you to redraw money back out of that line of credit at some point in the future for a certain number of times. And there's different regulations and rules on this. But let's say you had that $50,000. Let's say you paid down $20,000 of it, so you have $30,000 balance. Typically, it's going to allow you to then draw $20,000 again back up to that $50,000 cap. So then if you had additional needs or requirements, then you can keep drawing money off of that at that same interest rate. So that can be a really valuable tool and resource for you, depending on what needs you have. If you're renovating and you're like, I think I need 50, I might need a little bit more, maybe I want to pay it down, or maybe I have something in the future that I have that I just want to have this available. It's a nice solution. The home equity loan doesn't allow you typically to draw back money out of it. It's just a flat sort of second mortgage, but both of them are very, very useful tools. So you got to think of your house as an asset and think of these resources as ways to leverage that asset to solve different problems that you have in your family and your life, because you're going to run into financial issues and financial needs. Like I said, there can be mold remediation. That's of no fault of your own. You bought a house and you didn't know it was there, and then a couple years in, you find it there. Very expensive process, and you probably haven't been prepared to have $30,000 or $40,000 or whatever it is that you need to fix it. And so having these resources and tools available is extremely, extremely valuable, and understanding how they actually all of them function and what makes the most sense for you and your situation is really important. So my recommendation is, if you need liquidity, if you need cash in any of these ways, reach out to somebody like me, a licensed loan originator, who can guide you in the process, who can answer your questions, and then can make sure to get you the best solution for your situation, because everybody's unique. Everybody's different, and everybody can use a different solution to best benefit them and where they're at, whether that's the lowest possible monthly payment, whether that's the lowest amount of total interest that you're going to pay, whatever it is. Talk to somebody like me who can help you think through the best solution for you. So that's all I've got here in this little episode. Hopefully that was useful to understand the differences between the different products. There's lots more products than just that. Those are some basic general ones, though, to give you a sense for how do I tap into the equity in my house and then leverage that and utilize that so that I can actually save money and serve whatever it is in my family and make the best of it. Well, I look forward to thinking with you all soon, and class is now dismissed.